Hello, thank you for being here. My name is Dafna. I'm a metaphysical hypnotherapist and energetic integration conduit. If you want to learn more about my work, please visit my website. The link will be provided below here. I want to start a series, if you will, of videos, and I will most likely focus to begin with on creation, how we position ourselves in creation, and how we anchor, amplify, shape reality in here. Humanity has reached a threshold. We have, as a collective, moved to a different construct that is more in accordance with the divine feminine. We have moved from separation, and we have created a platform of unity in here. Now, it is not a clear-cut movement, if you will. There is a spectrum, there is an arc that we are traveling through, both in our singular life as well as in our collective. But this is a movement that has been taking place, and it's really intensified in the last few years. So I want to talk about the way in which we position ourselves within creation so that we are able to understand it and align ourselves within the construct that is being in the matrix right now that most resonates with our heart and which reality we want to both experience and create. You see, we have two different grids in here right now. A lot of people speak to the third, the fourth, the fifth dimension, and there are higher dimensions than that are actually in creation within this plane. But to the conversation today, I will speak about the two grids that we have, and I will really speak about it in a way that you understand what does it mean for us in the day-to-day life, because sometimes I feel that the information is hard to bring down to the moment-to-moment existence that we all walk through in here. So the old grid is where we came from. It's very much rooted in separation, very much more of a masculine kind of a grid. And we see what we have created so far. We had wars, we have a lot of sufferings, there is density in here. If we look at the structure right now, the political arena doesn't make sense to many people. And so we have created from the kind of a way of being that is disengaged from its wholeness, if you will. That's why we say separation. Because if we are walking in unity, we would always create in a way that is harmonious. We will create in a way that is interconnected to all of consciousness, to all of creation, to all of life. It's just our divine nature, and it's the nature of unity. It makes sense. So the new matrix is really much more of the divine feminine. It's fluid, it's like water. It's connected to the mystery, it's connected to the spirit dimension that we hold, it's connected to the higher self, it's connected to all of creation, and it reveres all life, if you will. It understands that it is a speck of a web that it's part of. And when you understand that you are a thread within a web of life, you understand that you are interconnected to something larger, but you also understand that your life in here is part of something that is collective, if you will. And because you feel that connection, everything within the construct of what you will shape would be in consideration to that whole. Your life breath, your life force, your creative flow always moves in creation. And the way that it moves in creation is both on a vibrational level, because we are vibratory beings, but it is the focus and the awareness of the accumulation of where your attention is throughout your day-to-day. So all of your thoughts, all your emotions, all of what you are engaged within throughout your days is what accentuates, it amplifies a certain construct. So if you, for example, are very concerned about what's happening in politics, if you are very worried about the state of affairs, a variety of things in the world, you are basically placing your breath, your life force in that construct. And this is the old grid. If you want to begin to move, to shift your creative flow into the new grid, it is important to understand that the focus needs to be where you want creation to be. So that is a really great question and awareness to bring to your sphere of consciousness on a moment-to-moment basis. Where do I want my life force to be? What do I want to experience in my reality? Because everything is a projection. Everything reflects back to you that which is within you. And so I want to reiterate in here, I really want to explain in here that it's not about avoidance. It's not about ignoring what is. It's not about being in some sort of a bubble, if you will, in your life, but rather it's about knowing where we came from, understanding that there is a certain construct and there are certain things that no longer work for us, that we reach a point where we want to have a different experience in here. We want to have a different reality, and we want to create something different for our children and for humanity, if you will. And so the idea is to actually make a conscious choice with the understanding that your attention is what creates, that you are a shapeshifter, where you want that force to go into. This is how we are creating a platform upon which we can bloom into unity, both in a singular expression as well as in a collective, the humanity construct that we're a part of. And so as you understand that and bring your awareness back into your being, you are helping to amplify the new grid. There is a different narrative that you are part of, not a different, but I should say a bigger narrative that you're part of. You're part of a conscious collective that is in evolution all the time. That's what we are doing in here. The earthly experience in here on a singular level and a collective level is all about expansion. We're expanding consciousness. And so as part of this collective, what you actually do and think and feel about every day is in part assisting in humanity to move into a different experience. And so, yes, in parts it's a singular experience, but you're also in connection. You're a thread of a bigger web of life. And the more you focus on it, the more of us, there is a critical mass that happens in here of us that are ready, open, willing to create a different experience for ourselves, that do this work. And as we do that, we provide a foundation to have a different experience in here. I want to talk a little bit also about what I have seen in my work a lot. Because we are creating unity, what happens in my work a lot is that we are unifying the essences within ourselves. We all, each one of us, have the essence of the feminine and the masculine. Whether you are in a female or a masculine body, it makes no difference. We have these two essences that are actually correlates also to Shiva Shakti. They also correlates to the life force. The strands of life force, the source of all is these two polarities, the magnetic and the energetic, create in here. So within ourselves, what I have noticed is that there is a lot of clearing that has to do with the divine feminine. There is a lot of people that gets triggered in a variety of ways throughout their life, whether it's in a relationship or whether it's in connection to, whether it's a daughter with a connection to the father. There is a lot of triggering point for people that happening because it's time for us to bring them to the surface and to clear them, to heal them. When I said that it has to do with the divine feminine and the rise of the divine feminine, the goddess, it has to do with, underneath it all, the stories that it's part of is the ostracizing of that side, the maternal, for eons. You know, we have been burnt at the stake. We haven't been allowed to shine our wisdom. Part of the mystery was vanished throughout time because it wasn't understood or wasn't appreciated. There is a lot of different elements that happened throughout the history to shut down that feminine, the divine feminine force in all of the spectrum of her. And so what's happening as she rises, as she comes to heal, underneath it, what happens is that all the misuse of authority and power comes up for people, because it is all about that. It's about authority and power being abused in some way, either power over or power under. The divine masculine as well is coming to heal. I see more the divine feminine in my work. I do see the divine masculine. Both are necessary. It is all about harmonizing these two essences and really bringing out the beautiful and full potential of each one of them. You see, it's source energy. They are equal. And they are different. It's not to say that they're not equal. They each have their own wisdom, each flavor, each tones and spectrum and colors, beauty, wisdom. It also reflects in the hemisphere, the right side and the left side of the brain reflects within these two essences as well. So one is more directive and one is more fluid, you know, part of the mystery, part of spirit. And the way that it shows up when we have them harmonized, the way that it shows up is that you will notice that you know when to take a direct action, but you will also know when to step away when you're creating a certain project and allow spirit to come to your sphere of consciousness, allow spirit to flow through you to bring about certain pieces and parts that are there in creation and creating with you. So it's about harmonizing them so that we know how to dance, really. It is a dance. It's a beautiful dance within those two essences that occurs throughout the day. How to know when to step forward and how to know when to allow spirit to flow, to express throughout in our own way. And there is divine timing, there is divine flow. Really, the fluidity of the divine feminine is much like a river. It's much like water. It is not pushing. It is more of allowance. And it knows that it's supported. It knows that it is ever flowing, that it's ever creating. It doesn't doubt it. It doesn't second guess it. It knows that it is in creation and it has that openness to create with source. So I want to leave you with this thought in here today. As you walk throughout your day, the nice reflection or the important or a reflection to take, if you will, would be, where do I want to put my breath of life? Where do I want creation to expand? What do I want to accentuate? What do I want to amplify? What do I want to anchor? What do I want to experience more of? When you place your attention and your focus and your awareness on these things, you are providing threads to connect with that web, with that grid. You are amplifying that grid and you are opening yourself to magnetize the potentials timelines that are in the matrix, that are in creation, that are aligned, that are in tune, that are in resonance with these kind of awarenesses. Thank you so much for your presence. I appreciate comments and I will see you next time. Thank you.